this thing going? Can you hear me? Yeah, I think you can hear me pretty, pretty well. Yeah. So, hello everyone. Sad stream today. It's not as hot. Previous days has been really warm here in London, UK. And when it's really warm, I don't feel like doing much. I find it more difficult to focus on things. So yes, I haven't been streaming for a few days now, due to that mainly. And the noises outside, as you can hear. There's plenty of noises. There's construction site next to where I live. I'm not sure if I told you before, but yeah, that explains the background noise. So I went to get a haircut. I went to get a haircut. What is up with hairdressers, dude? It's unbelievable. What's with hairdresser? You told them not to do something, and they do just that. Is that happening everywhere, or is it just here in London? Because most of them don't even understand English. That's quite a challenge, especially when you need someone to understand what you're saying. They don't. What's that all about? So, yeah, that's always been having problems with that. With hairdressers in general, it's you finally get hold of one, like a good one, and they move out because things happen, and then you have to travel about 1 hour just to get to that previous hairdresser, which was much better than anyone else around you, pretty much any other hairdressers. So yes, you either travel longer to get something good results, or you don't travel for bad results. That's kind of how it is at the moment where I live, for me at least. And of course, I'm not happy with what I got at the moment. It's ridiculous, but that's what you get. So yes, like I was saying, I didn't stream the previous days. It was really warm, and you don't even have to do much movement. You can just sit down and you still sweat. You sweat a lot of sweating. Hate that. It's quite uncomfortable. Quite uncomfortable. Now this will challenge me talking to myself for 1 or 2 hours. How's my t-shirt? What do you guys think about this t-shirt? Good. um, we like this t-shirt. It's mainly because facts should be more important than feelings, and where this society is going is all going to shit pretty much. To be honest and straightforward, this society, people's mentality is going to shit. It's going to hell, pretty much, because it's ridiculous. It's going towards nonsense. I'll give you an example. A few days I was playing a game, and someone was really bad at that game. When I said that, dude, you're bad, you need to practice more, do you need to, I don't know, play something else? Someone told me, hey, don't be judgmental. Well, listen, dickhead, if you're bad at something, then someone needs to tell you that, not continuing doing that thing and ruin it for everyone else. And this other person said, hey, no judging. The fuck are you telling me not to judge? I'll judge whoever, I'll judge everyone. I'll be the judge of everyone, dickhead. And yeah, fucking dickheads, fucking political correctness. Don't point out the obvious. Don't point out the elephant in the room, because hey, we're retards and we don't have to talk about the elephant in the room, right? Because we were taught to be all fucking positive and live in cuckoo land, right? Fuck that. No, we're gonna tell you how it is. That's how it is. That's why I'm a big fan of Simon Cowell or Ricky Gervais. These two tell you exactly how it is. You don't have to fucking sugarcoat it or all these stupid things that people do, because it becomes obvious. It becomes obvious after a while, when someone says, well, yes, you're very good, you're very talented, but you need to more practice. That pretty much means you're shit and you need a lot of work. But they just sugarcoat it because Nice. That's how it is. That's how you're being taught in this society of how to do it. That's how you have to do things. You can't really just say things how they are. Just sugarcoating it everything, and it's so stupid sometimes because of so much sugarcoating. It gets misrepresented. Fucking people, dude. Fucking society. So stupid. And what I noticed, someone told me this, but I haven't really took notice of it. I just thought, yeah, whatever. But how it is right now, it's never going to get as good as it is right now. In the 80s, it was really good, and it all went to shit, didn't it? 90s was worse, 2000 worse. I mean, in terms of the way this society functions, um, the way it is for you as a citizen. You have less and less rights. There's more and more oppression, and now with this pandemic, there's so many things around this pandemic, in quotes, of course, because I believe about this virus that it's about 30 or 40% real, but in the TV, on TV and news, they super exaggerate it. They make it times 1,000 more serious than it actually is, just to scare people. And I'm going to do a test and see how, if I can. You can hear me okay? Good. Um, yes, and they just scare people on the TV. They just um, there's so many discussions around this virus. So many. There's some discussions in Russia saying that this is a social test, just a test to see how obedient the population is. Um, I mean, you have to be a really dumb. You have to be an idiot to believe that thing that when they say the virus coming from a bat, that's just so the reason why it's slightly plausible is because it's more believable for the people. But I mean, there's one scientist now who they flew to US. I'm not sure if you've seen that news. Most TV channels wouldn't allow to show something like that, but there was this Chinese scientist saying that they have evidence because they seen how this virus was made in Wuhan in a laboratory, army, military laboratory in Wuhan. They were saying it was made and it was on purpose released in the public because majority of countries need to reset their economies or something like that. So they avoided going to the war. And they went with the pandemic option. So yeah, it's interesting, and it's a lot to scare people and to ruin businesses. It's pretty much in a way similar to what happened in 2008 when that financial crisis happened when a few people from Wall Street they bankrupt the whole world basically, and they said, well, yes, we've done that. No one can do anything to us because we're the richest people in this whole world, so no one can do anything to us. And they said, in order for us to start again businesses and get things back to normal, every government has to give us some money so we can start because we're not going to use our own money, of course. So if money came with, yeah, okay, let's give them some money so we can all go back to normal. Forget what happened, which is horrible. People died obviously because there was so much poverty. But yeah, something similar happening now, and it's very possible that the same people who have caused the financial crisis to do exactly the same thing now. And it's interesting how you're not allowed to talk about things like this on the TV because people might get thinking. We don't want people to think. We just want people to obey, right? And that's why so many TV channels has refused to air that Chinese scientists with what they found out. And we don't want people to think. We just want people to accept the reality and obey, don't we? That's easier to control. And it's very interesting. I was saying to people because what I'm saying is based on so many factual aspects. Like to give you another example, there's this big I don't know if you call them like big Twitch streamers because most of them will risk their reputation with stuff like this. But there's some that are very knowledgeable, like CEOs and people of higher functions that have smaller Twitch channels, and they said in a podcast that very interesting stuff. They said that end of 2019, before the virus was released, when it was starting to be released in China, there was this meetings in Wall Street with CEOs, hearing from a higher function people, higher caliber, telling them to sell all their stocks because this pandemic is coming. So everything was planned. I mean, I find it really, really fascinating how there's so many people out there who still believe that Osama bin Laden caused the World Trade Center and the 9/11. I mean, forget the fact that companies moved offices a few weeks in advance. Forget the trucks that were moving into the base of the both World Trade Center at 2 or 3 a.m. Yeah, I mean, as evidence of that, there's firefighters who heard explosions at the lower ground of the company. So when you have, let's say, the whole thing was genuine, um, in the sense that actually airplanes hit the buildings and that's what caused the whole thing. And Osama bin Laden is responsible for that. And we hate Muslims now because hey, that's our enemy, right? That's the cover up of it. There's always a cover up. The same with COVID, when they say the bats cause the virus. There's always a cover up, which a lot of people believe, and they'll look into it. They just hear something, and they just go along with it. So stupid. And yeah, there's a lot of people who believe everything they see on TV. It's scary. Um, yes. So a lot of people are not aware of the fact that TV and social media has been used is a weapon basically used to control people's minds. A lot of people don't know that. I'm not sure how connected this is, but I really like that picture if you guys seen it, where there's in the stadium, there's a lot of people screaming, they're just supporting their team, and there was something saying under that, it's like a sentence saying something like, imagine if people were this passionate about things that actually matter, because sports and other things were created to distract people from the actual things that matter in our society, how to improve people's lives. And here's another example of how something's wrong in our society, in this whole world. In Western societies, we throw food in the rubbish bin, don't we? Because it went off. We throw so much food away, and there's people who starve in Africa and probably other parts of the world that we don't even know about. So many people starving, but we throw food. So I mean, it could be so easy just to support those poor people, support them. But I mean, there are just so many clues out there that is showing how something is wrong in that society, and no one really actually cares. And also another thing, no one wonders. I never heard. This is something that person came up with. Because I never heard anyone saying this. How in the last 2 decades we have advanced so much in technology, much more than the last 1,000 years. So a lot of people don't think about that. They just enjoy it, but they don't think actually how this came about. How technology exploded so much in the last 20 years than in 2,000 years, and no one wonders. No one is saying anything about it. It's fascinating. It's fascinating how everyone just goes along with it. Everyone just goes along with it. Yeah, I'm just testing to see how you guys hear me. Yeah, but yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. And as you noticed, I'm a bit of a boomer. I don't have any um, um, follows around my camera down here, here. I don't have that kind of stuff. Just keep it simple. Keep it clean. Um, Also because I don't have any viewers and no one is watching me. I'm just talking to myself right now. Yes, but I just like to rant about things. Um, Hopefully get some people in here, maybe um, get a discussion going. But until then, it's gonna be me talking to myself. Yes. So there's so many things about this society that people don't actually think about because they get distracted, and that's why there is so many distractions to not allow people to think about the serious things in our society that actually matter, like traffic security, good health, and stuff. So many other aspects, but people get distracted with so many things and they forget about the aspects that actually matter, they're important. But who cares about the serious aspects to fix them when there's Big Brother, Six Factor, there's the game, right? Um, so yeah, it's so many things to talk about, but it would have been much more interesting to have some people to bounce ideas off. So yeah, I would like to hear from you. What other conspiracies do you guys believe in? Flat earthers? I mean, that has to be the most fun one, isn't it? I never been to space as much as I wish, but what I know, because most of us haven't been our space, so we're just assuming we're just going along on what other people tell us, and just we go along on what scientists tell us, and they could have an agenda um, to hide it from people, but what I know is that I flew over to 25 times, maybe more. Yeah, that's what over means. But what I know is that at one point I was really high altitude and also high. They could see the curvature of the planet, and some people might say that yeah, it's the distortion of the glass, the windows that airplanes have. Well, it's not much distortion. It's not like the GoPro cameras. The GoPro cameras that have those lenses that are like in circle, like in round thing. Is that curvature, is that bending thing that some people think airplanes windows have. Well, they don't really. Most of them don't have that um, distortion. And the reason why how I know that is that because when I was in the ground on the ground, I was looking outside through those windows, and everything was looking normal. It was looking clear. It was looking straight as it normally is. There's no distortion, so you can't really say that there's a distortion on the ground and there's no distortion out in the air or the other way around. You can't really say there's distortion in one place. It's either everywhere or nowhere. So that's how I can say that I was at really high altitude at one point, one of the flights that I had, and I could see the curvature of the planet. So yeah, that's what I know. That's what I've seen myself personally. But I also know about a few tests that have been done in Stephen Hawking's. I've been carrying out a few tests, which he's done this TV show called called is called um, something with Stephen Hawking. I forgot what it's called. What was it? I forgot, but I can look it up for you if you want. I can tell you. I can find it easily. There's no problem. But one way of testing was because I've heard of different ways from people of looking at the sun and then placing a pole standing up, and when the sun is right above that pole, you can see like there's that pole has no um, shadow, and I haven't really fully understand how it works, but someone was explaining to me that um, at specific hours you check shadow something somehow, and that's in some way they can tell you if the planet has a curvature or something. I forgot how it was, but someone explained to me that's one test. I haven't really fully understand because it didn't make much sense. I was having too many questions, and if I was asking questions, and I was going to look like the thick one, or so. Yeah, just whatever. But what I remember from those Stephen Hawking's TV shows, there's a few episodes. Um, they've done a test showing how they put a laser at the edge of a lake, a very big lake. They could barely see the other side, and they went further away on a boat with a piece of plywood standing up. So they went from the lowest point of that lake, I mean not the lowest point, it's at the edge outside the lake. They've put laser, and as they were going with the boat out further away, you could see the further away they were going, you could barely see them. The laser point was going up, 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 higher, higher. So that's how they could see like the curvature of the lake, of course, I mean the curvature of the planet. You can notice it like on hundreds, if not thousands of kilometers. But even small things like that, I'm pretty sure you can test that. You can realize that there's some curvature. But yeah, there's that, and there's some people. I was talking to some people about these conspiracies. um, Something interesting that very few people know about this is the chemical pesticides that they use in supermarket foods, and they use a lot of estrogen and other um, female hormones put in so that males start behaving homosexually, and that's something that explains how many gay people around, much more gay people than used to be in the 80s or in the 60s or in the 30s, and that explains the pesticides used in the foods in supermarkets. And of course, you're going to think that's just stupid. Who does that? It's not impossible. Well, there's scientists who have tested this, and what I'm saying is based on studies that have been done on a number of universities around the world. And when one scientist started talking about this, a lot of companies tried to clean him up, get him off any platforms, get him off TV, so he doesn't have a voice. And I've came across this as well because they run all kinds of experiments like that. I mean, all the pesticides used in foods they tested on frogs and other animals, and they started behaving homosexually. So there's some truth in that because factors in this study have been proven to be right. Experiments that have been done to multiple universities show that exactly how hormones being given to female hormones being given to males, they start behaving homosexually. They're more feminine, as you'll expect, right? But yeah, this is done for. I mean, the scientists and they all know, but they can't really speak because that's going to cause a major controversies between them and corporations, big corporations. So you can't really talk about that. You're just aware of it, but don't really talk about it. So yeah, I'm interested in conspiracies, and I'm also interested to find out how many they are true. And I was very fascinated to find out. A lot of people told me as well that most conspiracies were proven to be true. Most, I think, of course, there's a few that are just pure nonsense. I believe like flat earthers, but there's quite a few, more than half of them are actually true. And about Illuminati, for example, is pretty much true because I don't even know where to start about that. There's so many triangles and triple three sixes and one eye. I mean, if they didn't exist, then why those three symbols exist, you know? But yeah, people don't believe them, don't believe that Illuminati exists. But then, yeah, hey, just throw 666 and concerts and put pyramids with one eye at the top and that stuff because hey, they don't exist. But let's put this stuff right because that makes sense. So yeah, that's people for you. um, just sad. Sorry about the background noise. I live next to the main road and you can hear a lot of noises. And about now, it's when the construction site next to where I live stops working, and hopefully have more quietness. I'm sure you're still going to hear ambulances and police, and it's ridiculous. Living next to the main road, it's like we live in apocalyptic times. You hear ambulance after police, after fire brigade, after police, after ambulance, like they chasing each other. It's ridiculous. In fact, let's play a game. Let's see how long it's gonna last until you hear one siren going out, right? um, yeah. So um, I really like streaming. I want to talk with people and exchange opinions and correct opinions, correct my own thinking. If I'm right, please correct me. I like to be, I would love to be proven wrong. I also had quite a few experiences in my life, very personal. I can't really talk much, but most of them proved to me that there's a spiritual side to this world, things that we cannot see. As you know, the spectrum of the human eye it's very limited. There's quite a lot of things that we cannot see. So just because we can't see those things, that doesn't mean that they don't exist. Also, because you can't prove them, it doesn't mean they don't exist. You just can't prove them. I know it can sounds a bit silly, but like I said, there's only a portion of the spectrum that the human eye can see. So yeah, just because you can't see, you can't understand something, it doesn't mean that that something doesn't exist. It's just you who don't understand it, or you reject to believe that concept. Which I speak to a lot of people, a lot of atheists, for example, and some of them don't understand. Some of them it does make sense how, for example, Jesus was able to walk on water. Well, his father they created everything, so just walking on it wouldn't be much of a trick, would it? But yeah, just people get stuck in little details, and because they don't understand those little details, they reject the whole concept. It's easier to just reject and ridicule than do the researches, put your mind to think, analyze, discuss, then just laugh at it, right? It's easier. Oh, someone told me, so, so someone said something really funny. If they were serious about it, that's what made it even more funny. I was talking about, I was providing evidence to them about those studies showing how pesticides are being used, female estrogens in supermarket foods, and they didn't believe it, so I provided them all the evidence, studies from those universities, and they said, well, yeah, it's on the internet, so it has to be true, right? So wait, what? So because it's on the internet is not true, so everything is that it's on the internet is not true? That's yeah, so stupid. But that just goes to show how stupid people are. People are very, very stupid, very gullible. And to give you an example, how stupid and gullible people are, that panic buying toilet paper thing. Everyone went and bought a lot of toilet paper. This goes to show how stupid people are. That they believe everything and how they're being controlled by TV and social media. It's pretty sad. Pretty sad. Yeah. So yeah. So pretty sad. It's one of the most fun things is discussing with people and proving them wrong. That's fun. But of course, a lot of people don't they can't really say, oh, I was wrong. So about that, you're actually right. That's impossible for them to say that. So most of them they just say, yeah, I don't believe you, or I don't still don't have enough evidence, or even if you provide tons of evidence to them, they still it's just because they find it very difficult to admit that they were wrong. Find it very difficult to accept the fact that they were wrong, to accept the fact that what they were told it was a lie. So because of that, it's easier just to ridicule others and laugh at things and not research anything. Just yeah, laugh at things and ridicule others and yeah. So yeah, that's those are um, some of the conspiracies that I know a bit more than the others. I've seen quite a few. There's some articles. There's something interesting. I've read two articles saying about Tupac. It was one article. It was the second article on a different day about Elvis Presley. How both of them they faked their death, and there were some people saying that Elvis Presley was present at Michael Jackson's funeral. So yeah, um, I don't know. Maybe the only way to prove that will be to um, look into how Tupac and Elvis Presley was buried. So I mean that's one way to find out if it's true or not. But yeah, but there's this article saying about how they fake their death to live a quieter life. I don't know where they'll go, where people are not going to talk about it or take pictures of them. But yeah, I that's something I'm not. I'm a lot highly skeptical than other things. Other things are maybe easier to prove. I don't know. Yeah, but it'd be really interesting to hear the what other people think. It'd be really interesting to know your opinion. Um, one second, please. Um, just need to do this little thing. There's so many checks on these websites like Facebook and emails and stuff, it's ridiculous. You can't always use them because there's security checks and stuff, and it's a good thing, but it's a bit too much. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Um, yeah, so I would like to know what you guys think about conspiracies in general. If you believe there's any of them that they are truth, any of them that they don't hold much water, or if you have in general something against specific conspiracies, are very good to hear from you.